So I finally got Sonic Adventure 2 on Steam. It's got some differences, like obviously you just saw there the Omochao hints. Omochao in general is a bigger presence in this game. Like, for example, you see Omochao in the, like he says, this is Pumpkin Mountain in Pumpkin Hill. The big reason that I got Sonic Adventure 2 on Steam was mods. Every character has their own super form. And that's pretty cool. A lot of them look pretty nice, although I don't really like Tails' creepy red eyes. This guy looks like Metal Knuckles. And Eggman, even Eggman has this super form. Which sounds like straight out of fan fiction, but I don't really like that kind of dismissal. I mean, there's been so many fan fictions written about Sonic that pretty much any new story idea could be dismissed as, oh, that happened in a fanfiction at one point. So whatever. I don't like the way Rouge's super form looks at all, but for the most part they look really good. And as I showed off earlier, oh yeah, for some reason there's a stupid glitch where if you walk towards a Chao as Shadow or Sonic, you'll knock them back as if they were abused if you're super. And in fact, sounds like they could just fly right out of your hands when you're carrying them, which shouldn't happen. That's stupid. Unfortunately, super forms don't apply to the races, which is disappointing since they bothered to make super forms apply to the mechs and the non-mech forms. But yeah, as I showed off earlier, the super forms can actually, they make you invincible. And I don't know if they actually do drain off your rings. I think you just start out super. So yeah, they're actually a really good cheat. I played through all the Dark Story again with them. And there's the Hyperform, it looks the way it should have looked to begin with, rather than being a walking seizure. I mean, it kind of looks silly, especially with Shadow. But hey, at least it's not a walking seizure. And unfortunately you don't ever see the Hyperform outside of the boss fight. But yeah, what I'm showing off here is the bad side of the Steam port. This is basically all the glitches that I've experienced exclusive to the Steam port. For one, sometimes I outright need moonjump codes in order to so much as beat levels. Sometimes it's just impossible for me to beat a level, so that's what the codes are for. Again, it's fantastic that they actually have codes in the mod manager, just like in SA1. Although sadly, some of the codes don't even work. I think the size modifier, it doesn't really work. The instant spin dash code, I thought it would be great because it would turn the spin dash into like SA1 spin dash, but sadly it screwed me over more than anything, and it makes it impossible to use the somersault. And like the size modifier doesn't seem to work. The supersonic flag definitely doesn't seem to work. And yay, a spring that completely is broken. There's plenty of glitches that I've never experienced before that seem to always happen in Steam port. Like, sometimes air dashing onto rails that go upwards can be a complete crapshoot. I clearly hit those rails, but nothing happened. I never had these problems in the original version of the game. Like, I don't agree with the idea that SADX is glitchier than the Dreamcast version, especially since Exoparadigm Gamer reviewed all the versions of the game and said that none of the versions were glitchier. But with this, they very clearly added glitches into the Steam port by accident. It is literally impossible to beat Final Rush in Steam port, at least in my Steam port anyways, because apparently you can have glitches in your copy that other people don't. Because I know someone else who has a Steam version and they don't have any of these problems. But it's like, it's not really that bad because you can just moon jump and skip all this. Like, who would ever play the Steam version without the mod manager anyways? That's the whole reason you get an extra copy of the game for the PC. But still, I shouldn't have to do this. It shouldn't be made arbitrarily impossible to progress by bounce attacking those crates. That's stupid. There's also some glitches. Oh yeah, here's another spring that doesn't work. And yeah, sometimes I somersault automatically when I don't want to. Like, I remember the most recent time it happened, when I was trying to get a Phoenix as Sonic. You'll see what I mean later. But yeah, this is the glitch I showed off in a very short video that I showed off. There are some glitches I wasn't able to actually show off in this video. Like, when I reloaded, like, when I first saw the cutscene of Shadow taunting Sonic on the SD2 Steam version, and then I reloaded the file, Shadow was invisible. There's an invisible Shadow taunting Sonic. It wasn't a big problem, but it was kind of funny. I really wish that I had thought to show it off. I didn't know if it was. I don't know if it would happen again if I reload the file again. I was worried that it would be too late because it would take so much time to exit out of the game through the Windows key, and then get Bandicam working, and then the cutscene would have already ended. Another big glitch is that one of the springs mandatory to rely on in the Springs circular area in Real Radical Highway, it killed me when I had the moon jump code activated. Yeah, that's another problem, is that you orbit around the time stalkers in Can Score, and sometimes the homing attack doesn't really like to work. Sometimes it just completely ignores things that you need it to hit, and sometimes the homing attack range is too large, and it just homing attacks stuff you don't want to. And also, the coconuts look really weird, don't they? Yeah, that has never happened to me before. But yeah, in the tower full of springs in Radical Highway, one of the springs, when I had the moon jump code on, it killed me over and over again. So I had to carefully jump around the side of the building with the moon jump and air dash past it, landing on the ground ahead. Not that's a really big deal. Oh yeah, and like the bat chow, the only way you can get rid of the bat effect is to use the skeleton dog. I haven't had, like, I leveled up all the way to 99, and I still wasn't able to get rid of that effect. I also saw a Chow walking around in circle forever. Like, literally forever. And I saw the name of Stump Valley being called Stummo Valley, which happened while my E-Drive, which the game was on, was off. But, yeah. That was basically all the glitches. Final Rush is impossible to beat without moon jump, and so is Final Chase. And Green Forest, just ignore the high route at the start. Anyways, this is the Fusion Chow editor, which is really user-friendly, and it's basically the best way to deal with the Chow system. I'll probably never play it legitimately ever again. There's pretty much almost everything that you can do in it. I was worried that it was a problem to download because the video showing it off wasn't the person who made it, and they tried to claim that it's not really a problem at all, actually. If you delete a Chow in the Chow editor, it'll actually go into a Great Cocoon and die. You'd expect it to just vanish instantly. The shiny Chow option below two-tone always glitches out for some reason. That's what I heard anyway. Exiting and entering the garden while making changes is a good way to make them happen, but usually the changes happen instantly. Drawing level 5 and like in the lessons you can actually see that there is drawing level 5 and song level 5, which I thought was really weird because I thought that they both maxed out at 3. Like, I didn't know that you could have drawing levels be increased that much. You can actually mess up your Chow data changing stats too much, and you won't be able to revert a Chow if you do that somehow, even though you can change the Chow stats no matter what. If the stats are ridiculously high from the editor, you'll actually see the stat bar on the race menu glitching out with the numbers flashing. So hacked high stat Chow are pretty glitchy with the white bar when holding them. There might be a cap on how well a Chow can fly in the garden though, because, well, a Chow with maxed out stats can run around really fast, but it doesn't fly as good as you expect in the garden itself. But like, the thing is that I tried to have a max stat Chow be a new Chow, and it wouldn't happen. The disappointing thing is I tried to make a red tail Chow, but it didn't actually work, so I wasn't able to do it. Apparently you can only have character Chow be one color. Okay, that's disappointing.
Everything will be okay.
You can also hack in a max amount of rings for the stores, which is really cool. You can force a Chow to evolve or reincarnate, and choose it to give the exact evolution you want. You can also make really crazy, like, second evolutions based on, like, extreme stat. Like there's different likelihoods for depending on... There's different likelihoods for which type of evolution you can have. And you can just make crazy looking Chow, but you have to check off a box to do that. So, that's great. It's great that you can get the exact evolution you want, because I always felt like it was kind of bullshit RNG trying to get the exact evolution if I leveled up any stat other than the one I wanted. You can also choose to give a Chow any sickness you want. Apparently, every single sickness has their own likelihood to happen. And you can spawn in a character Chow, like Tails Chow, which is the cutest thing ever. You can force a Chow to go into the mating season, and the flowers of the mating can look pretty glitchy sometimes, like with the sky texture on them. You can make Chow sleepiness or tiredness of a certain value different. That's the weird thing. Why is sleepiness and tiredness different values? Aren't they the same thing? That's confusing. They really should explain that. You can also hack their fear, dizziness, and urge to cry. Hack their parents' DNA. You can pretty much do almost anything you'd ever want. For some reason, I was having a hard time getting the exact personality I wanted. Because it's weird. Sometimes the slider has to be all like, oh, you have to have it all the way to the right, and only then will you have the personality you want. And other times you have to all the way to the left. And it's like, at one point I got a short temper for Scourge when I was trying to get a carefree, and I also had energetic be pretty high too. I think they should have a separate slider for short temper, because it doesn't look like they have every single personality there. Personalities basically determine the value at which luck intelligence could be. Not that it matters, since you can change luck and intelligence to be exactly whatever stat you want anyways. You can even edit stuff in the shops when you're in the stores themselves. So you can even buy normal looking eggs, as well as mint candy and grapes and smart fruit and other unused items with a description, if you keep eating this. There's also like unobtainable hats like the pacifier that can be bought as well. You can give Chow an SA1, the SA2 kindergarten skills and animal behaviors. Like that's another thing, is that you can actually use the Chow editor for SA1 as well. Not sure why you'd want to do that since it's the inferior Chow system. Like, it can't even detect when you're petting it sometimes. The weird thing about the Fusion Chow editor is that you have to be running the game, and that's the only way that the Chow editor will actually work. Which is really weird, because usually I have to activate the mod and then turn the game on. Another thing is that there seems to be a glitchy sound effect for when I exit out of a kindergarten class, and that's not the Chow editor's fault. That's another Steam glitch that I have. But yeah, sadly you can't make certain Chow good friends or enemies with other specific other Chow. If you need any more proof that Chow relationships with each other are myth, look no further, because there's no value that you can change with the Chow editor to make certain Chow friends with other Chow. I don't know how to get a bully Chow. I mean, I've seen a Chow try to attack me, but I've never seen Chow bully other Chow. So, yeah, that's kind of weird. But yeah, you can pretty much do almost anything you want other than that. Like, again, I'd love to have a red Tails Chow, because I'm trying to make Chow based on Miles, Fiona, and Scourge. And that's part of why I made Miles so high in fear value, because I picture him as sort of worried about a lot of things and like having a lot of legitimate fears because of his bullied past. But yeah, you can also give Chow any lessons that you want. So, and like something really convenient is that the Chow editor, it actually tells you with checkmarked boxes which lessons every Chow has had. It's a convenient checklist that the game itself doesn't give you. So, just by looking into the Chow editor, you can always know which lessons the Chow has learned, which is really convenient. So, no longer do you have to write it down on a piece of paper to keep track of it. It also has a checklist telling you which animal behaviors and which animals the Chow has. And you can edit the animal parts that Chow has to be whatever you want. Although for some reason I tried to get rid of the animal parts of Scourge, and I end up having to do it manually with the skeleton dog anyways. I didn't really feel like changing the stuff in the store. I think you have to have the store open, and only then can you change what it's selling. I don't think the unused food items like mint candy actually give them stamina. But yeah, you can also get the tiny Chow Garden fruit in the PC version this way, which is really cool. Because normally you can't do that. As you can see, the Chow editor there, not the Chow editor, the Chow machine, all it's there for is saying goodbye. It's not there for anything else. There's no way to play the tiny Chow Garden. Well, like, it's already in Sonic Advance, you could just... But you can't connect an emulated version of Sonic Advance's Tiny Chow Garden to this game. Not that it really matters, since it doesn't really do much for you, but yeah. He has a short temper, as you can see. I basically changed it so that he hates Sonic, which makes sense since he's based on Scourge. But yeah, you can basically get the stats up to however high you want. You can give Chow S ranks if you want. So no longer do you have to spend 8 billion years trying to get an S rank Chow. And look at the stamina meter! I've never seen it be that awesome. I never pictured it being green. Like, I thought it would just be like orange or red. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And that's not the only mods that this game's capable of.